Hi, my name's Jeff Carr from Ultra Consulting. Thanks for joining our show today. I'm glad to have with me today Dennis Gilhooley. Dennis is our Regional Director of Services at Ultra. Dennis, could you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
My name is Dennis Gilhooley. I've been with Ultra Consultants for 6 years, joined in 2012. And before joining Ultra, I served on different types of roles. I worked in a manufacturing company in an IT role and operations role. And then I worked with a vendor, working with our clients and helping them through business process improvement initiatives. And then I've also worked in the consulting capacity in supply chain and business process improvement.
An interesting background. So you really sat on all three sides of the activity.
Right, that's what I like to share with our clients. I've sat in their chairs and interviewed consultants just like me and determined whether or not we wanted to bring them in and if they were going to be able to help us improve our business.
Recently, you worked with a consumer good manufacturer. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
This was a consumer packaged goods company. They were about $150 million in annual revenue. And they were running a legacy system that they implemented almost over 20 years ago. And in that time, they had built business processes or their business processes around limitations of their existing system. So they had many manual and redundant processes that wasn't allowing them to get the true efficiency that they needed. They did not have visibility to accurate and real-time data, and they just built many workarounds.
So what types of services did Ultra provide them?
Well, first we started with our business process improvement phase, where we documented their current business processes. And this is for them to get and us to get a good understanding of what they do, and more importantly, why they do those things. And then we took them through an education phase, educating them on best practices from a process standpoint, but also what's available using modern ERP. And then using what we learned through education, we built a more ideal, more efficient future state. And then using that future state, those future state business process flows, we helped them select a solution and partner that best supported that future state. We also then helped them through the implementation. We continued on in a functional capacity. We were familiar with the new business processes that we helped them develop. And we also served as a project manager leading the implementation.
Sounds like a very interesting project. So what was were there any key lessons learned from that particular project?
Yeah, there were. We definitely identified early that a lot of the workarounds were due to the limitations of the existing system. But we also learned that change management was very key and very important to this project. We had to get buy-in from the top executive level, and that had to be pushed down through the organization. They had to understand that this was not just an IT project, that this was an organization and business project. When we were met with resistance from the organization that the executive level was going to continue to push back, that we had to take this project seriously.
Excellent advice and input on that particular process. What were the key improvements in the business or the key return on investment for this particular project?
Sure. Well, we reduced a lot of those manual processes that I mentioned earlier and reduced the redundancies. And that helped us put many of their employees in more strategic positions, giving them access and visibility to more accurate, better information, real-time information that helped them make better business decisions. So those were strategic moves that helped the company grow without having to add personnel.
One of the key values then was the fact that they would be able to grow the business without having to continue to grow overhead.
Exactly.
So because of the productivity and the access to information of the new system.
Yes.
So I see that a lot in companies like this. So now this was a $150 million company, is that right?
Yeah, $150 million company that I think it was around 90 to 100 users.
What was the timing of that project?
Our business process improvement phase and selection phase was about 6 months, and then the implementation lasted 12 months.
Okay. So that's probably a good standard for our audience to understand, is that to do a project like this, the foundational elements of preparing and doing business process improvement, selecting a new system will take about 6 months, and then the implementation would be about 12 months.
Right. And the work that we put in during the BPI phase and selection phase helped accelerate that implementation. I think if we didn't do that up front, we would have experienced a much lengthier implementation phase.
Well, thanks, Dennis, and thanks for all the information. I hope this was informative for the audience today. Look forward to having you join us for more stories from Walter Consulting. Thank you very much.